Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got the tank review for the brand new Cold War Independent Era 2 medium tank, well that was a mouthful, the Pharaohs Fury Ramses II. Now this is the Halloween version of what is the Ramses II tank, which I believe was an Egyptian tank. And it's the new Halloween tank. It's the other tank that's coming in alongside the Roswell. And so far, what do I think of the tank? Yeah, I've not enjoyed it, if I'm honest. I've not particularly enjoyed my time with the Ramses II. It's just... I just don't enjoy it because it's basically that Soviet-esque design, which is quite low to the floor, obviously. It's got 5 degrees of gun depression, but it's got the M60 gun. And I just feel like I would be better off having a tank that's got 10 degrees of gun depression, like something like or 9 degrees of gun depression, something like, you know, the M60A1 Rise, which is another premium tank that you can get at Era 2. And I'd probably be better off having something like that because it basically does the same job but just better because you've got better gun depression. Because what I found with this tank is that the gun, it actually is pretty derpy. It just loves missing shots. And I sit there going, why? Why did you miss this shot? RNG, that's why, obviously, but, you know, it just sits there going, no, I don't want to hit the tanks, I don't want to do it. So it doesn't do it. And the armour seems to be really hit and miss. It's like, sometimes it feels like I'm a god and I bounce loads, and then sometimes I just get absolutely shredded. And I'm sitting there going, oh, okay. And, yeah, I just haven't felt it. I haven't clicked with this tank whatsoever. I just haven't enjoyed it. Like, you get the same thing out of a Type 80, for example. I'd say the close analysis to another tank would be something like the Type 80, and the fact that it's that Soviet-esque design. It's got pretty much the same gun, although this has got better premium pen as opposed to the slightly better standard pen of the Type 80. Like, the mobility's so-so, you know, the armour's the same, basically, in the way it acts. So it's just a bit, I don't know, it's just a bit hit and miss. I have not enjoyed my time with this tank whatsoever. But without further ado, let's get into the statistics of the tank. So, the Pharaohs Fury Ramses II has 908 horsepower with 69.3 kilometers an hour top speed. That's really random. 27 kilometers an hour reverse speed with a 21.25 horsepower per ton ratio and a 15% fire chance. So the 15% fire chance is in the middle. Again, it's in that very Soviet-esque tank in terms of the fire chance, you know, because they're all in like 15 to 20% chance. They always set fire quite easily. The top speed is really, really nice at 69 kilometers an hour, and the reverse speed at 27 is also very, very nice. And the power to weight means that you do hit that top speed pretty easily. You've got, that's probably one of the top things about the tank is the actual mobility, by the way, and the fact that it hits that 69 kilometers an hour, great. Also, giggity. 2.8k hit points is solid slab of hit points you can use. You've got 44 degrees a second on the hull rotation speed, which is pretty quick, which is nice. You got 1.8 on soft terrain, 0.8 on medium, and 0.7 on firm, which isn't too bad. That won't hold you back whatsoever, really, in terms of your top speed. You've got 344 meters of steel concealment with 379 on the move concealment, which is not too bad for a medium tank in Cold War, but at the end of the day, you're probably not going to spec a medium tank in Cold War for camo. You've got 485 meters view range, which is decent. You'll spot a decent amount of tanks with it. There's quite a few that are pushing plus 500 in Era 2, but, you know, 485 is fine. You've got 34 degrees a second turret rotation, which is much slower than the hull, which is something that you might want to buff up with rapid aim for sure, because the turret rotation does feel a little bit slow. Sometimes it feels very slow to get the gun snapped onto target, and especially when you're turning the hull, it can be a little bit irritating. You got 1.09 accuracy during rotation, which is, it's alright. It's alright, but in Era 2 things are starting to get a bit better than that, if we're really honest. 18 degrees of elevation is fine. 5 degrees of gun depression is ew. It's not nice in Era 2, especially the amount of tank, because the amount of tanks that can pen you very, very easily in most of your tank, you really have to overexpose yourself a lot to get shots at people, and there's a lot of tanks that don't have to expose much of their tank to then just pop over and shoot you through the turret front, which, yeah, 5 degrees of gun depression on these tanks in Era 2 and Era 3 is not that nice compared, you know, when they have to face a lot of tanks that do have that 8, 9, 10 degrees of gun depression. You've got 8.6 second reload, which is, again, one of the strengths of the tank as well, is the fact that it actually fires pretty quickly for this M60 type gun. You've got a 0.32 accuracy at 100 meters, which feels like a lie. Yep, it just feels like a lie to me. The gun handling has been atrocious for me. Like, it has not felt like 0.32 whatsoever. You got 3.1 accuracy during movement, which is absolutely atrocious. And you really want to help with vertical stabilizers and run and gun if you can. You really need to help this out, because even when you've helped it out all the way, it still likes to miss a lot of the shots on the move, even at point blank, which can be a little bit annoying. So you definitely want to help this stat out as much as you can. You got 2.1 second aim time, which is fine. 2.1 second aim time is... yeah, it's perfectly fine as it is. It means you can get the gun aimed in pretty quickly. Would be nice if it was a little bit quicker, because there's a fair few tanks that do aiming quicker, but 2.1 is still top notch, to be fair. You got 3.2k DPM to go with that reload, which again, like I say, is pretty solid. I think there's not many tanks that beat it. And I think the M60A1 Rise is one of those that does, with this same gun, is what I'm talking about. The Magak is slower, the Magak 5, which is another independent medium. That's the other one, really. I feel like I would be better off in a Magak 5 than I would be in a Ramses II most of the time, for how the gun performs and the mobility and the armour and that sort of thing. Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of this tank. You got 426 APFS DS pen on the standard and... well, 426 pen on that standard round, 494 pen on the premium round, which is also APFS DS, and 250 Hesh pen, which is beautiful. Hesh pen in Era 2 is a thing of beauty. If you know how to abuse the Hesh, you will have a very, very good time, because the amount of thinly armoured tanks that you can pen through the front is a lot in this era, and you don't realise it'll throw lower plates and stuff like that. And then if you shoot stuff like Leopards and 30Bs through the front with Hesh, or even like one or two of the M60s in the back and stuff like that, you will be setting a lot of fires. And the Hesh is a beautiful thing, and that ups your DPM by a country mile as well, because you get 570 HP of damage on the Hesh. So never discount Hesh on a lot of tanks in Era 2. If it has good Hesh, the ammo swapper is always a good idea. And then you've got 460 damage on your standard APFS DS as well. 1455 meters a second shell velocity on the standard, 1494 on the premium. It's pretty damn good velocity. I mean, there's a fair few tanks now that are pushing 1700 in this era, but that's still a fantastic velocity to have. It's not slow by any means. And you've got 731 meters a second velocity on the Hesh. So bear in mind that if you switch to the Hesh, it's very slow compared to the standard, and you've really got to adjust your expectations of how you've got to lead the shell. You also have 165% silver bonus, which is really nice in Era 2. It means that this tank will make a bucket load of credits if you can make it work, which is also very, very nice. I'll give you a quick look at the armour profile so that, you can look at it for reference. And you can pause it and have a look at it, basically. So you see you've got 230mm upper plate here. And it's only 230mm of upper plate armour as well, which is, it's still pretty decent. It means that if you are angling like that and people shoot your upper plate, if they're firing APCR and stuff like that, they could ricochet a lot of times, which is actually what happens. But if you front on like this, or even slightly angled like that, still this tank gets absolutely butchered, and it's a sad, sad time for you. Because, I mean, if you look at this turret front where the cheek is, it's only 280mm of thickness, and there's nothing else behind that in the turret, I do not believe. Whereas there's a lot of tanks, like some of the T-72s, for example, have more armour behind the gun, which means that the actual turret armour is way better. This doesn't, it's just a flat 280 and that's it. Which is another reason why the armour on this tank just doesn't feel very good. So, in terms of equipment, I run the enhanced rations, so I run food because I want to make everything better. You could run smoke if you wanted to, just to be able to smoke out, peace out, that sort of thing, or a patch kit if you want to get more HP. But I like having making everything better with food, because it does a lot to it if you take that essentially with a passive boost, as well as your active boost in game. And then in terms of equipment, which is, again, completely subjective, you can change it to however you want, I run advanced loader, vertical stabilizers, or the gun stabilizer, and the advanced reload, which is the ammo swapper. Ammo swapper because I abuse the Hesh. I abuse the Hesh a lot. So you want to run ammo swapper if you want to abuse the Hesh. But if you can't be bothered to work out the Hesh and use it, which is perfectly valid, to be fair, you could drop the vertical stabilizers and run something like the traction system to get faster top speed, because at the end of the day you can get up to about 70, I believe it's 75 kilometers an hour with the traction system on, which is really, really nice, and that make your track traverse even better, that sort of thing. You could run vents to make everything about the tank better, make the DPM better, accuracy, aim time, all that good stuff. Powertrain if you didn't want to make track traverse better because you didn't like how fast the track traverse is compared to the turret. all run advanced armor because you're going to take a lot of damage, or you can take damage a lot of the time, and you can reduce the amount of damage coming in by 5%, and then you can run that with armor angling and reduce the damage coming in by 10%. Or the enhanced missile warning if you really want to know when a missile's coming in. It's completely subjective. It's down to how you want to play the tank. I run this because I want to abuse the Hesh, and the gun has to be made better for sure. So that's why we run gun stabilizer and advanced load to make the DPM 10% better as well. And in terms of the crew, we use the Ozymandias crew, which, I'm just going to hark back to A-level English where it's, my name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty and despair. Yeah, that's A-level English all over. Good old Percy Shelley, loving life, with his deep, deep, whatever poetry. So, side point right there, we're going back to English. Let's go at the skills. We've got Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Steady Aim, Snapshot, Run and Gun, Clutch Braking, Rapid Aim, Track Mechanic. I run these 3 perks because I want to make this gun better, and even with these perks, the gun still feels tragic. You will see that in the replays. The gun just goes, yeah, you know what? No. And misses a lot, and it's really annoying, especially when everything pens you really easily as well. And then I run Clutch Braking to make the track traverse better, because I just like having the track traverse feel better for the mobility in that. But to be honest, with the turret traverse being poor, that might do yourself in a little bit, having the track traverse better. The Rapid Aim to make the turret traverse better, to get the turret aimed in quicker, which is why I have Rapid Aim. And the track mechanic, because you get tracked a lot, and if you want to get out of dodge before if you want to get the tracks back on quicker, especially when you see a missile tank come in, and you want to pull back behind a corner, it's nice to get the tracks back on really quickly. And a lot of the time you will get your tracks blown off first shot by a lot of the tanks in this era. But yeah, you could swap out Clutch Braking if you wanted to run Deadeye to, make your shots do more module damage. You could run the Iron Mace if you wanted to reduce the effect of fire, the effect of the distance on your APFSDS. It's down to you really on it. You could run, like I say, Armour Angling in conjunction with Advanced Armour to reduce the amount of damage that you take. Run Mark Target, that's the one. Mark Target to keep everything lit for 3 seconds extra. Or you could run Situational Awareness just to boost your view range if you wanted to, and make it so that you can spot things a little bit easier. Or Supply Conservation is also a very good one to take, especially with the multiple different uses of consumables in Cold War, because naturally, if you make your consumable recharge speed 15% better, I should say, that's really nice. And say, like with the food, it's like from 60 seconds down to like 48 or something like that. I don't know, maths, it's hard. No, it's 45. And, or is it? No, I can't remember what it was. It was like 48 or something like that. But yeah, you take smoke, which is like, 1 minute 30 or 2 minutes, and you take patch kits and things like that, it will knock a significant amount of time. You have to wait for that consumable to come back. So it's actually a pretty useful tool to use if you don't discount supply conservation for that. But yeah, that's completely down to you and how you want to kit out the tank in terms of your crew. Yeah, I just run that because, like I say, I want to make the track traverse better and the turret traverse, etc. Just make the mobility feel a little bit nicer sometimes as well. So yeah, as you can see, we have got our hull rotation up to 47.96 degrees. The soft terrain resistance, the terrain resistances in general have got a little bit better. We've got 526 meters of view range now. We've got a 41.35 degrees a second turret rotation speed, which is catching up to the hull rotation, which is why I say you might not want to take clutch braking, because of the fact that you're catching your turret rotation up to the tracks, and you've just made it the track traverse way ahead of it again still, right? So it's down to you. 0.72 accuracy during rotation now is down from that 1.01, was it? Which is better, but it's still not great at times, and you can, like I say, you do feel it sometimes when you turn the turret, how much the gun blooms out for it. You got 6.27 second reload, which is really, really nice, 4.4k DPM. You got 0.26 accuracy during 100 meters, which should be good, but doesn't feel it half the time. 1.77 accuracy during movement as well, which is not that nice for a medium tank in this era still, but it's far, far better than the 3 it was, right? It's far, far better. And a 1.93 second aim time, which is pretty damn nice, to be fair. 1.938 second aim time is always great. But yeah, the one thing for me, that if you look at this gun, like 4.4k DPM with the crew in it, if we were to go put a crew in this Magak, which we need to do, you know what? For now, you will do get in my Magak. Yes, I'm spending gold for your faces here, because all we want is rapid aim, born leader, and etc, etc. We've got a 5.83 second reload, which is actually, I thought it was worse than the Pharaohs Fury. It's actually better than the Pharaohs Fury. This is why I say the Magak 5 for me is more preferable than the Pharaohs Fury. I just feel like the mobility of it, 62 kilometers an hour, is only, what, 6 kilometers off the, or 7 kilometers off of the Pharaohs Fury. The gun's the same. It handles slightly better in terms of the gun as well, or at least it feels like it, and it does statistically as well if you look at the accuracy during movement and rotation. It's got better DPM, it's got better aim time. You know, and it's got the gun depression as well. Look, you've got 9 degrees of gun depression. This is why I say, like, I prefer something like a Magak or any of the M60s in general that run the same gun as the Pharaohs Fury to the Pharaohs Fury, because I'm not a fan of the tank, and I feel like there are tanks out there that do far better than it for that regard. And the Magak 5 is enough of an example there for you. And most of you will probably have the Magak 5 too, because, well, a lot of people earned it. And this tank you'll probably be able to earn next year, so bear that in mind. You can probably wait for a year before earning it next year in Halloween mode. So yeah, the Pharaohs Fury, it's not for me, really. I have not enjoyed this tank whatsoever, and I do feel like there's better out there for your money. And like I say, when it comes to Halloween tanks, you can just go and earn them next year instead, right? So without further ado, I'm going to let you see the replays. I'm going to let you see what the tanks are like through those replays, and you can see some of the things I'm on about and how much I've suffered a little bit with it, and then also some terrible play from me in general that somehow works out. So without further ado, enjoy the replays, people. So here we are in the replays with the Pharaohs Fury, and this first game is on Swamp, and really this game sums up my hatred of this gun, if I'm totally honest. Some of it is bad aim, and then some of it is just the gun going, no. I don't fancy penning that tank. I'm just going to miss all the shells you fire. Thank you very much. And that is what it does. So on Swamp, on Encounter, I'd normally just go charging down the 9 line and then rotate round behind the castle, because that's probably the best thing to do. But for this game, I've for some reason decided to come to this position here at D4. We've got a nice shot early on into the Brennus, which we managed to pen. We're now looking for another shot into this Brennus, and he seems to have disappeared. No, actually, he's right there. Actually, it's an M60A1 that's right there that just shot us. We luckily bounced a shot, and we managed to pen that M60A1. And we've decided, okay, we know there's things crossing over the gap along the 2 line. We're going to change over and see if we can cut them off and start getting shots into their side. So we poke over the top to see if we can get a shot into the side of the FV4 2-on-1, which we do, but we bounce. And then we get shot in the side from the medium tank that is currently spotted where the light tank is at H6, which means that position I can't use like I was trying to. And you know, it's a bit of bad aim really on the M60, sorry, on the FV 4-2-on-1, because we aimed basically where the spaced armor is, and unfortunately it bounced. That one, however, on the cupola of the M60A3, I have no idea where it went. It just went straight over the top of it. Well, I do know where it went. It went straight over the top. And it was like, oh, thanks, gun. We're switching, you can see where the ammo swap was useful as well, because we're switching between the premium and the standard for firing at this FV4 2-on-1, because we don't need the premium for the M60A3, it's just a waste. So we switch to the premium rounds for the 4-2-on-1 and then switch to the standard for the M60. And you can see with the gun depression, we're just finding it a bit awkward to fight this ridge against this M60. Look for his cupola there, can't quite find it, switch back to the premium and fire at the FV4 2-on-1, and it just misses. Although that one really, we should have led it a little bit better, but still. Poor shot, really. I was trying to go for the drive wheel, but I actually aimed a little bit too far to the left and hit the spaced armor again, so we only did nothing to the 4-2-on-1, although it said we damaged his engine. But I don't see how that's possible when we didn't pen it. But now we're going for the cupola shots on this 4-2-on-1, and he's only 250 metres away. We end up ricocheting off of his cupola there because he ends up going too low and hitting the turret. We're just waiting to see if he'll give us another shot, and he's poking up shooting someone else. Fully aimed the shot, and it flies into the cupola there. It's like, thank God we penned it. Okay, good times. We switch back to standard because realistically we don't actually need the premium for the cupola. The 4211, the standard or the premium will both pen that cupola. And the first shot, and that shot was fully aimed, and it flew in above the 4211's cupola, and that second one flew above the 4211's cupola. And it's like, okay, that one was chancy, so it was not likely to hit. The first two were like, oh, come on. And that one, no. That one was a bad shot because he just moved a little bit too far past us there. And this one that is coming up, I remember, because that's lag. And that adds to my frustrations. That right there was lag. So where you saw me zoom out was after I'd pulled the trigger. And, yeah, the shell just didn't come out until a couple of seconds later. Occasionally happens. It's just the way it is when you get lag in it sometimes. But that Scorpion 90 is running around behind us, and it's like, okay, I'm just going to ignore him, keep going after the FE4211, because we want to try and get rid of this guy. Going for his cupola shot. Finally, we hit it and pen it again after all of the misses we've had. We're wasting so much of our ammo trying to go for this cupola. Go for the cupola again, and unfortunately, it goes low and hits his turret front instead of his cupola. This time, I try and pick out the cupola, and he moved backwards a little bit, which made it actually that we were aiming at the front of the turret as opposed to the cupola. That one was more likely to hit the cupola than it was to miss, and it actually hit it missed, because that's the way it goes. The Scorpion 90 comes in from behind, and we shut that guy down with a free aim shot. We load the premium so we can guarantee the shot will go through the side of that 4211's turret, but he pulled back just enough to avoid the shell, and he gets shut down by the Mobat. And in this game, we're only on 2,209 damage with 1,222 assistance, which is a pretty poor game for an Era 2 mediums, really. And there's still 3 tanks left that are all pretty healthy, so we can hopefully make it just a little bit better. So we're going to go after the 3 guys. There's a VT2, a Bandit, and a Magak, and we're going to hopefully catch them out and start pumping some damage into them. There is 5 of us left. There's one guy that's at G6, like a G6. So it's got to be done every time, right? It's got to be done every time. And we got the 2 mediums that are coming to help us, so hopefully we're going to get there first. So we're going to drive around, get a shot into the VT2, and I was like, I did not expect that guy to be facing us. So we're going to pull back, get out of dodge, and, well, we can't because we've got people behind us. We get a shot into the Bandit, and it's like, no, I need to get out of here. And we've still got people behind us, so we can't get out. But we managed to get the shot in to shut down the VT2, and thankfully the Bandit, sorry. And thankfully, the VT2 didn't come round and to keep putting shots into us. He just cowered round the corner. We load the Hesh to guarantee the roll, and we shut down the VT2 with the Hesh there, because, you know, the Hesh has 570. He was out of the range of a one-shot of our APF SDS, and with that we managed to snake the kill on the M68, or the M60... I keep trying to say the M60A3 when it's a Magak 3. Come on, brain. Finished with 4 kills, 4.3k damage. The second class... 1,381 base XP, it's not that good of a game really for Era 2, but it just showed off my frustrations with this tank, where I didn't really block anything. The gun just decided, no, I'm not hitting these shots that you want to hit. I'm just sat there going, oh, come on, you know? And now we're on to the second replay, and the second replay we are on this map, which is Fredvang. And on Fredvang, I was thinking, okay, you know what? I might go and fight along the ridges at like G3 or around E4. But they are not the best of spots for fighting on when your whole team is going along the 7-8 line. Because, well, yeah, if your whole team's going the 7-8 line, you may as well go and join them, because otherwise you're just going to end up dying all on your Todd. And that is not what you want, because, well, yeah, it's not good if you go to a flank by yourself, because you'll just die and then you'll regret your life choices. You always want to follow the team at points, especially in Cold War. There's points where you really should just follow the team, and it'll go better for you if you hope. So, anyway. And to be fair, the cap's up here at B9, so if we'd gone down the 2 line, we were further away from the cap too, so we couldn't help that if we needed to defend it. But from up here as well, at about D7, we can actually get good shots across where their spawn is, because no doubt there'll still be a couple of people sat up at B3, B4, because that's always the case, so you can hopefully feather them out and start pumping shots in. Plus you can get good shots from up on top of this hill, along the E line, along the 1, 2, 3 essentially, on the hills. As you can see, there are tanks up there. We're trying to get some shots into them. We bounce off 1, we bounce off 2, and Yeah, two tanks have basically lost pretty much most of their hit points from that corner because there's quite a lot there. So we're going to move up, use the rock in front of us so that we can basically stay safe from the right and also stay safe from the left. And we can pop out on either side to get the shots where we want to. So I'm just trying to watch to see where the enemy team is at this point, and I can't quite see anybody. So we're going to back round the corner and start trying to get the shots at these people that were up here. And there you go, you see the 30B. Poor shot, really, because he was moving back too fast and it was always going to miss. But we do manage to get a shot straight into that 30B there, and he pens us. So we're going to start side-scraping. We're going to start side-scraping so that there's more chance that they only track us and don't pen us. And it's working out so far. There's something else that's not just that 30B, and it's actually an M60. We get a shot through the M60, and we're still side-scraping it out to make it as hard as possible for this 30B to miss us, or to just, well, bounce or ricochet, which is exactly what he's done so far. Unfortunately, our next shell on the 30B missed. We go for another shot, and it goes straight in and pens it, which is glorious. Just waiting for the reload so we can do it again, and we get another shot through the Brennus again, putting on to 900 odd hit points. Now that Brennus has pulled back, we're going to pull back to see if we can get a shot at that M60 again. And in fact, there's not an M60 up there, there's a Magak. And then the Leo 1A1 comes round and shoots us, and I can't pull round to shoot the Leo 1A1 because we are going to get penned otherwise. We pull around to see if we can get a shot at the Magak, but I can't quite see if the Magak was still there or not, and he managed to pen me, which is a disaster. And it is what it is. We aim for the shot into the side of the Leopard 1, which we get straight in. I'm just watching around the corner for this 30B. And he is starting to come after us. We get shot through the turret front because the 30B doesn't have the best turret. And we're going to try our best to use the Rex to keep ourselves covered. I don't know why I shot there. That was silly. But the 30B is a very lightly armoured tank. So we're going to load the Hesh. So our DPM is even better. That's 589 into that 30B, which puts him down to a one-shot for our Hesh. And we slam the shot in. And the chaos isn't done there. There's a Leopard 1A1 coming up on us right now, and we've got the Hesh back in again, because again, another Leopard, Hesh is a good time. We slam the Hesh in for 573, that makes him a two-shot if we fire the Hesh, and we need to really pen the Hesh this time, so we auto-aim the shot. I don't know how that missed, but we shut down the Leopard with the next shot because we rammed him a little bit. Now we're close up with the 30B to the Brennus, and at this point I know I'm dead. And he's trying to machine gun me, and we are finished. I have no idea how I missed that Leopard at point blank there. It hit the dirt behind us? That was weird. Anyway, finished with the defeat. The 2 kills, 6.2k damage. The Eagle Eye for damaging most tanks unspotted. And yeah, we end up finishing the top of the team on that sad defeat. But now we're on to the third replay. And the third replay, we are on Severogorsk. And Severogorsk, in Cold War, will basically charge down the 9-0 if I can, and try and get behind the little ridges that are about J0, because from there you can get good shots into the enemy base, and you're a good enough distance away that they might struggle to pick you out as well, which is always good. And yeah, that last game showed a bit of the derpiness of the gun, but it also showed how the Hesh can be pretty lethal, and which is why I run the ammo swapper. Because against the 30B2, if I'd fired APFSDS, he was a 3-shot with Hesh, easy pens, he was a 2-shot. And with the Leopard 1A1 is exactly the same, and God knows what happened to that shot at the end, and it hit the ridge behind it when the gun was basically in the tank. Yeah, God knows. But that he would have been a 2-shot there as well, right? So that's why the Hesh can be so damn lethal, and there's so many tanks you can pen with it. So here on Severogorsk, we found this position on this little hill, and this is exactly where I wanted to be, because, like I say, you can get good shots into the base, like you've seen. There is a light tank running interference and running distraction, and that means that we've got no one really looking for us at this point. So we're still trying to put some shots into these people. We tried to go for the cupola of the 30B2 forad, and unfortunately it just loops high and ricochets off. Sorry, it goes low and ricochets off the front of his turret. And once again, we go for the cupola of the 30B2 forad, and it hits the front of his turret as opposed to hitting the cupola, so it bounces. We get a nice shot through the M103A2 there, who is tracked. We aim for the engine deck because you never know for fires, and we do set the poor guy on fire. And just as I went for the third shot, it's like, oh, he's been destroyed by the fire. Okay, I didn't need to fire that shell. So the guys that were in front of me have been shut down. We're going to push in to see if we can get any more shots at the M60 that was in front of us. I was just looking for the tank that was at the back, because we know there was a tank back there, and it was actually a BMP. We load the Hesh, because I thought, well, it's an M60, I should be able to pen it with Hesh, right? Yellow pen marker, I was like, okie dokie, nope, can't pen that. We have spotted the Leopard at the back, though. Go for the shot into the Leopard, unfortunately, it just deviates slightly to the right and hits the dead BMP. We load the Hesh, though, and as you can see, the shell velocity is so much worse when you fire at distance, but we pen the Hesh for 542, which damages his ammo rack, and we were about to shoot him down there with the APFS DS, but, well, he gets shut down by the 72M1 that was on our right. There's 7 tanks left on the enemy team, and they are there's 3 of them currently pushing this medium tank, this 30B2 that's in front of us. So we're going to try and get over here to help him if we can. I'm just trying to find a shot into this guy, and unfortunately, we end up hitting our teammate there because the Mischieftain was just keeping him covered. We go for reloading Hesh, and that was a weird one. That was a bug with the ammo swapper. And oh my RNG. That's the kind of shot I'm on about with this gun. How did that miss? It just went straight underneath the tank, even though it was pretty much fully aimed on his lower plate from 100 metres. I think we just found a bug there with the ammo swapper, by the way. My food ran out just as I pressed A to switch shells, and it made me do a full reload. I might have to send that one in, and yeah, that was a weird one. I think I've had that before, actually, and I've never quite realised what happened. And at that moment, my food did run out at that exact moment, and just as I pressed A to switch shells, it made me do a full reload. That caught me out in the game as well, but I thought, no, it must be my brain. Clearly not. There's only 1 tank left on the enemy team. It is this Stingray. We load the Hesh, 6.16 roll, beautiful times, absolute slam with a ram, and we shut down the Stingray. And we finished the game with 6.2k damage, the 3 kills, the epic victory. I think we came 4th in the end, 6.2k, decent amount of credits, 188,000. The second class, yeah, and we came 4th on the team as well, 1,267 base XP. Another pretty average game for the Pharaohs Fury there on Severogorsk. And we're on to the 4th and final replay. And the 4th and final replay, we are on this map, which is Westfield. And on Westfield, I was thinking, right, where do I go with this Pharaohs Fury? And this is the best game I've had in the tank, by the way. And it's one of those games where I play like a bit of an idiot and somehow come out with a decent game. And there's bits of things that happen with this tank that are just like, oh, for goodness sake, tank. And then there's bits that are just like, what are you doing, you moron? That was terrible. And then bits where it's like, how are these people not dying? It's one of those games. It's all over it. So on Westfield, I was thinking, okay, I'm going to go north. Look where my team has gone. My whole team is on this flank. There's no point going north. So we're going to use this ridge here to try and spot the enemy team that are climbing, and hopefully they'll get eviscerated. So we spot the 3 guys in the open in the perfect spot to get shot. When we've got so many people behind me at E7, so many people at F0, these guys are in the perfect spots to being shot. This is where usually, these are the money shots. These are the ones that you get tons of assistance if you're in World War II, and you're a light tank and you're staying unspotted. But these guys just aren't getting shot. They're just not getting shot. They're just not losing any hit points whatsoever. And I'm not getting any spotting either. Because, well, view range in this era. We try and get a shot into the RDFLT. Ends up missing because we end up firing straight into a house. And you can see there with the turret traverse, by the way, when I locked onto that light tank and I turned slightly the other way, it just meant that the turret traverse was a bit wonky. So we charge in, go for the shot into the RDFLT, which is good because we get that into him. We're keeping this Chieftain and FV lit. And at this point I'm thinking, is this Chieftain not blowing up? Like, this Chieftain is very much out in the open, and a lot of the tanks should be able to pen him, and nothing is happening right now. I was looking behind me to see if anyone was looking. I actually think a couple of them are looking at the light tank now. And, yeah, 1 or 2 shots are starting to fly in, but we've lost most of our hit points because I thought, if I lead them out of their cover, they might get shot, but yeah, nothing happened. So we're going after these 2 light tanks now because screw those guys are dead. We get a nice shot into the Bradley, which puts him down to 996 hit points, and we're just trying to climb to get as steep on this incline of this ridge as possible, because that Bradley obviously has good gun depression on its ATGMs. I don't want it to do what it just did to that guy that's next to me, where he poked over and fired the ATGM into him over the ridgeline and couldn't really do much about it. So if we're on the steeper incline, it's more difficult for him. So we load Hesh, come over, RBRT the shot into the MX-13 SS11, don't pen it, 163, it's like, okay, maybe I should be able to do it, so we do it again, 204. didn't pen again. I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure I should be penning this guy with Hesh. We tried to guarantee the pen into that guy, but it doesn't go anywhere near, and we missed it. Terrible shot. We were also lucky to survive the ATGM, by the way, as well. Looking for the shot into the Bradley to finish it off, but unfortunately we don't get it. Now we load the Hesh because, well, it's an AMX-30B too. 567, straight through his upper plate. And again, we've damaged his fuel tanks. Next shot, hopefully with Hesh. Fire! Just like that, and we end up shutting him down. We're up to 4k damage with 1,053 assistance. We've actually got 4k blocks as well, which is pretty good. And we're going to charge round in front of these Bradleys in the hope of shutting one down. 403. Thank you, RNG, with my 460 Alpha. Didn't quite finish the Bradley off because of that, but now the 13 SS11 is tracked in the open. We get a shot into his side. I was trying to switch to Hesh there, but, well, we've got no Hesh left. And the 13 SS11 is being charged by the medium tank. We know the Bradley was dead, and the two Bradleys are dead that were charged across to E0 because, well, they were both in a platoon, and both the platoon light tanks, all three of the platoon light tanks are dead. So that means that we know that we're not going to get ATGM'd in the back. So instead, we are going to climb the hill along this B line and try and go back into the middle if we can. Because we want to try and see if we get shots into this heavy tank, that is spotted at E5. Because they might give us some shots. It is a T-72AV. We'll load premium just to guarantee that we're going to go through. And then I was thinking, you know what? I don't need standard. And realistically, that was a poor shot because we just did not lead it whatsoever enough to guarantee it. That one, however, we did. And it still went to the right and hit the floor. Because the first shot was me going, oh, that was a bad shot. I need to lead it better. So we led it better. And yet, RNG still said, no! We hit the floor. We're up to 4.8k damage and we are charging in on these guys. So we've got the Leopard 1A1 to kill. It's like, hello, Mr. Leopard 1A1. Poor shot. Missed it by a country mile. It's like, oh, goodness me. I just needed to shut this guy down because I don't want him to turn around and start shooting us. That shot should have killed the Leopard 1A1, but it goes so low and only does track damage. We load the premium, go straight through the side of the 4-2-1-1 there. Great times, great times. Now we've got the RDF-LT in front of us. We're auto-aim, point blank. Miss. Okay, sure. Well, just get rammed. Get out of here, Mr. Light Tank. We shut him down. RBRT the shot into the Leopard 1A1. Because, of course, we get that one. We saw the tank on our left. Load the premium because it's a 4-2-1-1. Slap that into him there. Just waiting for the next shell. Track him in place. So I was hoping I'd track and pen that guy. But we didn't even get the assistance for the tracking there. We're up to 5.8k damage now, and there's two tanks left. There's this bandit who is pretty healthy, and the leopard as well, who is also pretty healthy. I wish I had more Hesh rounds for that guy. So we slam a shot through the bandit. I kind of wish I had more Hesh rounds for the bandit as well. And I'm just going to move closer to the rock to make it harder for him to get a shot into us. We put the shot into the back end of the bandit, and I just fully expect this bandit to get shut down before I reload, but he doesn't. So we shut him down. We're up to 5 kills now. We're on for a top gun. Up to 7k damage, and there is one tank left. There is this Leopard 1A5. This is directly in front of us. Now, this is a bit of a risk, because the Leopard 1A5 can kill us in one shot. So it's a little bit awkward. And the fact that all our friends are either behind us or on the floor. So we go straight over, RBRT the shot in. We know we've got very good reverse speed, so we know we're going to get out before he fires. He ends up hitting the dirt. Just looking for the shot into this guy. We get the shot straight through his turret front, pull back behind the ridge. He fires again. I'm hoping that I get a shot into his tracks, but our gun depression is failing us a little bit. We get the shot into him there, which puts him on 966 HP. He ends up penning us, but not quite killing us. We put him down to a one-shot there with 453 HP, 460 alpha. Low roll. Damn it. And unfortunately, he shuts us down. And if only RNG had been a little bit kinder there, we could have had our top gun, but it is what it is. We still finished the game with 9,200 damage, 1,106 assistance to 5 kills. A really nice game for the Pharaohs Fury Ramses II. Good amount of credits made in that game. The ace tank of the high caliber and 1,665 at base XP. Again, let's say a really nice game for the Pharaohs Fury. A tank that, if I'm honest, I just haven't got on with. If I'm totally honest. I just have not got on with this tank. I haven't really enjoyed it all too much. I think you'd be much better off with a Magak 5 because it basically does near enough the same thing. And you'd probably enjoy it more. And most of you already own the Magak 5. And you'll be able to earn this tank for free probably next year. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.
A great success.